You tell him I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me! Hello there, good people. Welcome back to Icelandic Psycho. So this is the big one. I was recently tagged in a video, top 10 films from the 90s. So this is my reaction to that. Being a 90s kid, this was really difficult. I've been thinking about this before I go to sleep, like, what about this one and this one and this one? What if I change this and that? And it's been like all over the place, but I'm just gonna go ahead, do it, and we're gonna have some terrific time talk about these fun films from the 90s, which are my favorites. This is a subjective list. I'm not trying to break down the best films from the 90s. Not today. And I'm gonna tag two of my great friends from YouTube, Michael Bartlett and The Film Classic, and keep the snowball effect rolling. So if you guys want to participate in this tag video challenge thing, that would be awesome. I would love to see your list. I was tagged by Popcorn and Horror, channel that I recently just discovered. Well, he discovered me and I discovered him. And this is the fun thing about YouTube, really, is that it feels like a community now. And this is the reason I'm here, to talk about movies with like-minded people. I have like maybe one friend that I can talk about movies with that also collects movies and just, understands me. And I need more people like that, you see. So let's start with some honorable mentions now, shall we? Casper, the first film I saw in the cinema. I don't remember anything about that experience, but I mean, it's very near to my heart for that. I love the scene where the ghosts are coming down from the ceiling like that. Anyway, and these two great westerns, Unforgiven and Tombstone, great love letter to westerns, and I mean Tombstone, fun cinematic experience, Val Kilmer and Kurt Russell. You tell him I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me! And Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption, and Pulp Fiction. The big three, right? Now these films, I believe, subjectively and objectively do belong on my list, but these are movies that are expected on most of these lists, so I'm not gonna talk thoroughly about them today because there's not much more that I can add, really. These big three films from the 90s, it just really puts into perspective how much I don't care for modern cinema. I mean, it's just... But this video is not about that, so let's keep going. I mean, Forrest Gump and Shawshank Redemption are these emotional journeys, fantastic films. Pulp Fiction is a film that I feel if I show it to someone today that hasn't seen the film before, they find it a little bit overrated. I saw it when I was 15 years old, perfect age for me to see this film. It's got a lot going for it, and it really changed the way that we sometimes perceive how to tell a story in a way. And I'm sorry for not having it in my top 10. I'm saying it should be, but fantastic film nonetheless. So let's get into the top 10 now, shall we? Bringing us into the top 10 is The Man in the Iron Mask. A film that's not talked about. I really like these sort of films. Films, action, adventure films like these. And this is a film that was adapted from a book by Alexander Dumas. Great writer. He made The Count of Monte Cristo, which is one of my favorite films from the 2000s. And this film has a rather underrated performance by Leonardo DiCaprio, I feel. He really plays it so great, playing these two characters. You can just see the differences in his eyes, the expressions in his eyes. A cinematic experience that I enjoy watching on a Saturday night or Friday night. It's exciting, dramatic, action, adventure, fun stuff.
I can't breathe in this thing!
Anyways, so yeah, if you haven't seen this film, give it a chance. Or if you don't remember it too fondly, I mean, this is a film that I definitely recommend you check out, and I would love to hear what you think of it, right? So now let's go into the number 9, which is a film I do not have in my collection. I used to own it on DVD. It was never, I need my glasses to see. It hasn't been out on Blu-ray. It's available on Disney. It's a film, 6 Days 107 Nights.
What?
Yes, I realize that this is not a prestige pick, right? But this is sort of like the fast food that tastes so great, and it's like it's almost healthy, but it's I mean, it's a very accessible, approachable, fun, fast-paced, not your typical rom-com. Harrison Ford and Anne Hesh play these characters that get stranded on an island after a plane crash and have to learn to survive there. They get into some, you know, dangerous animals, pirates. It's like a comfort zone film. One of these films that I rented on VHS back in the days in the video store with my mom and seen. I watch this film once a year, you see. I mean, it's just one of those things. I can rewatch this over and over again. And there's a scene in this film where a plane is about to crash and it goes back and forth between a guy having fun on a bar. I think that's a pretty cool scene. It works very well. And there's a nice music in this film, nice adventure film. And David Schwimmer is also in the film. You know, he's pretty much just Ross in this film, but, you know, perfectly cast. And there's a scene in this film that me and my mom, through all of these years, have always laughed at. It's a scene where David Schwimmer goes, aha! If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. But I feel like there's a big chance that you haven't seen the film because this is not a film that gets talked about. So bear with me, check out the film, and let me know what you think of it. Check it out. Okay, so coming in at number 8 is Recall, 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 Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. My favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger film, no doubt. Is it a dream? Does it make sense? You decide. I mean, this film is just sort of a party. See you at the party. See you at the party, Rita. It's just one of those perfect science fiction action film directed by Paul Verhoeven, the same guy that did RoboCop, and of course with a lot of great one-liners by our friend Arnold Schwarzenegger. Consider that it was. Number 7, Thelma and Louise. A film that was sort of ahead of its time. Strong female characters, ones with great performances. This is a film that is directed by Ridley Scott. It has this sort of action, adventure feel, drama, and a really thrilling last scene. A high-energy octane joyride. Okay, well, sure. It's just the perfect out-on-the-road outlaw film with a great score by Hans Zimmer, who claims this to be one of his favorite scores that he did, so I mean, that's something. One of Brad Pitt's earliest performances as well, so that's pretty cool. He's great in this film. Number 6 is GoldenEye. I'm a big James Bond fan, as I'm sure that some of you already realize that have been following this channel now since I mostly started in... Anyways, so GoldenEye has always been one of my favorite Bond films. Just the concept, Bond going against another 00, like his evil 00 thing. It's like going against, going against himself a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to knock. This film, it really takes Bond perfectly into the 90s by being a modern film in a sense back then, but also feeling like a classic Bond film from the 60s. Just this awesome action film with Pierce Brosnan, and he just jumps perfectly into this role. Just such a great characters, great action, one of the greatest hand-to-hand fight scenes I've ever seen in a film. And yeah, what can I say? It's Bond, it's James Bond. I love James Bond. It's my favorite franchise in the whole world. Let's jump into the number 5 now, shall we? And this is the first time in this video that I'm going to cheat. I'll have to do it again. So now we have a tie. We have a 3-way tie later. I'm sorry about that, but this is just so hard. It's very difficult for me. Anyways, a 2-way tie is The Truman Show and The Mask. Very different films by our great friend Jim Carrey, who really carried comedies in the 90s. Well, in a way, he was a really big thing back then. And these are no doubt my favorite films of his. And one of them is with a big green guy jumping all over the place, trying to save the day or something like that. And one of them is with a guy stuck in a world where he's being recorded. He's the star of a show that he doesn't even know is being made. This film really feels like ahead of its time. It feels very relevant today. And this one still holds up very greatly with its CGI and stuff like that. So, smoking! And at number 4, we have Harley, Davidson, and the Marlboro Man. Yeah. This is sort of like a cult classic film that I believe most people have not seen. It's about these two cool guys, played by Don Johnson and Mickey Rourke, trying to save their friends from the evil clutches of the Matrix or well, something like that. I just have such a great time with this film. I even own the jacket here, you see. I love that. It's a film with great one-liners. It's better to be dead and cool than alive and uncool. Great action, great characters. It starts off sort of like you're wondering maybe to yourself, like, so, I mean, what's this film about? But then 20 minutes later, it really kicks into the script, and everyone that I've shown this film finds it exciting and fun. Number 3 is a three-way tie, because I couldn't decide between these 3 animated films that really were a big part of my childhood. I mean, it would be easier to just have a top 10 animated films from the 90s, but I'm sorry, I really need to include these 3 films here. A Goofy movie, Max, Toy Story 2, and Lion King. Hakuna Matata. I mean, what can I say? I saw Toy Story 2 5 times in the cinema. I've never beaten that since then. Really, really loved it. Built so very well upon the first film. I really liked the first film as well, but Toy Story 2 was just, really, really love that one. And Lion King, what can I say? Might be the first film that I, got hooked on. And I remember that death scene, which one I'm talking about. The first time that I ever experienced something like that, watching a film and just like, what's happening? What's going on? Then a Goofy movie is just, it's just so much fun. So heartwarming and such a great father-son film. And it's really funny as well. Bow, bow, banana, doom, doom, doom. Hey, okay, so now we are really down to the wire here. Our top 2, going into our number 2 pick here is Carlito's Way. You might have heard me mention this film before. This is a masterfully directed film by Brian De Palma that chose a very interesting way to do the story by starting off at the end and then sort of take us to the beginning of where Carlito is being freed from the prison. Directed by Brian De Palma that also did Scarface, but this feels like Scarface mirrored in a totally different way. And the difference also between Carlito's Way and Scarface is that Carlito, he's a really, really likable character, and you really want him to succeed by getting out of this life. But Scarface was somebody that really wanted to do everything to get to the top, right? The world is yours and sort of thing. But this film, it really takes its time, and then the suspense in the end, it's like so greatly handled. Just the scene in the restaurant with the camera work going around, and then in the train station, and it's just masterfully crafted film, no doubt. One of those films that really makes me want to be a filmmaker in a way. But now it's number 1. It is Face Off, the ultimate identity crisis film, right? Duality, perfect 90s action, over the top, beautiful stuff. It doesn't get any better than this. And this 4K casing here, it fits the 4K like a condom. I've just always loved this film. It was love at first sight. And you, Mom, you really love this film, don't you, right?
Not really.
Yeah, let's get back to the studio. Come on. Experiencing this film as a 10-year-old kid, seeing it on television, I mean, I was just the perfect age for this film. This was just the best sort of film that I could have possibly seen at this time. It's like looking in a mirror, only not. I mean, John Travolta and Nicolas Cage playing each other. This is just so much fun, and this was thought to be like the best action film ever made when it came out because of all these action set pieces, gun fu, these cars, airplanes, boats, and doves. Let's not forget the doves. This film is just endlessly fun, quotable, so big of an action 90s film, and in order to trap him, he must become him. Isn't this religious? The eternal battle between good and evil, saint and sinner, but you're still not having any fun. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been my favorite films from the 90s. This was a lot of fun to make, lots of hard decisions going into this. And I hope you enjoyed this. I certainly had a blast, you know, while deciding and making this and going through all of these films and just the 90s, man. What a time to be alive. It certainly was. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And if this was your first video on the channel, you might want to consider subscribing. I would really, really appreciate that, guys. And please do comment down below and tell me your thoughts on what I just did. And yeah, that would be great. And I will respond to your comments. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Until next time, keep your movies close and your physical media closer.